The world of mixed martial arts has been buzzing with backroom dramas, stunning victories, and controversies that have fans questioning everything they thought they knew. From bitter feuds to rumored retirements, there's never been a more tumultuous time to watch the action unfold. Ever since Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler fought at UFC 281, tension has simmered. Poirier accused Chandler of cheating, claims that sparked debates about fish hooking and dirty tactics. While some fans shrugged it off, Poirier doubled down, labeling Chandler's personality fake and insisting that the person seen in interviews doesn't match who he faced in the Octagon. Surprisingly, Chandler has taken a calm stance, praising Poirier as a legendary fighter who's paid in full throughout his UFC journey. As rumors swirl about Poirier's retirement fight, many wonder if the feud will ever truly die. Poirier might face contenders like Max Holloway or Justin Gaethje, but the idea of a final showdown with Chandler carries major intrigue. Despite the animosity, both men have professed respect for each other's abilities. If their paths cross again, whether inside the cage or just in verbal jabs, fans will be captivated. For Poirier, this stage of his career could be about legacy as much as settling old scores. With so much uncertainty about his next move, the tension between these two remains a high-stakes subplot that keeps the MMA world buzzing.
I don't lose a wink of sleep thinking about Dustin Poirier and how he thinks about me. Obviously, I live rent-free in his head, and he does lose sleep over me, so I don't think about him. When you ask, what do you think about it? I don't. So not everybody's going to like you, and that's just fine by me.
Fresh off a thrilling victory, Justin Gaethje wasted no time demanding another title shot. Known for his all-action style, Gaethje has become a fan favorite who can ignite any main event. Right after his latest triumph, a post from Gaethje's account stated he deserved the next crack at gold. Some suspected his manager wrote it, but the message was clear. Critics point out that the lightweight division is stacked with names like Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan, and they're not sold on Gaethje leapfrogging the pack. Still, Gaethje's supporters argue he's a proven draw, always willing to engage in a fight of the night war. Even Islam Makhachev has hinted that Gaethje could be an intriguing opponent given his wrestling base and knockout power. Yet skeptics recall Gaethje's previous losses to elite grapplers and question whether he can handle Makhachev's submissions. The UFC's decision makers now face the choice of prioritizing Gaethje's star power or rewarding other contenders' recent performances. Regardless, Gaethje's name generates buzz, and his unrelenting style keeps him in the spotlight. Whether he lands the title shot next or faces another top-tier foe first, it's evident he won't stop pressing for championship gold. Even amid uncertainty about his Octagon return, Conor McGregor remains a lightning rod for attention. This time, he's calling on Joe Rogan to respond to a request for a podcast appearance. It's a surprising turn given their fraught history. Rogan once criticized McGregor's actions in the cage, and McGregor fired back by mocking Rogan's credentials and accusing him of hypocrisy regarding PED use. Now McGregor appears interested in burying, or at least pausing, the hatchet. Some believe he's angling for a giant media boost. An interview on Rogan's show would undoubtedly shatter viewership records, offering McGregor a prime platform to discuss injuries, potential opponents, and his ongoing USADA saga. Yet it's unclear if Rogan will accept given McGregor's previous verbal jabs. If the two do sit down, it could be explosive or oddly amicable, depending on how each handles past insults. McGregor's knack for stirring controversy makes any interaction with Rogan a can't-miss spectacle. Whether this leads to real reconciliation or is simply another strategic move to stay in the spotlight, fans will be watching. After all, nothing involving Conor McGregor is ever boring.
That was an illegal knee on the head of a grounded opponent. Shut up, Joe, you little fool, you. What are you talking about? Smash this and smash that. What was smashed? My knee into his eye socket, yeah? Sake. That's a knee to a grounded opponent. Call the cops. Ticket.
Alex Pereira rose to prominence with explosive kickboxing skills and a knack for dramatic knockouts. Yet he ran into trouble against Magomed Ankalaev, a fighter who used clinch control and strategic pressure to disrupt Pereira's rhythm. Daniel Cormier then questioned whether Pereira could handle even larger opponents, suggesting any future move to heavyweight would be risky. In response, fans debated if Pereira's rapid ascent may have masked lingering weaknesses in grappling defense. Meanwhile, Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo though, argued that staying off the fence is Pereira's responsibility, and that his busy, globe-trotting schedule might be siphoning energy from dedicated training. Despite the setbacks, talks of a potential rematch have already sparked widespread intrigue. Dana White remains open to giving Pereira another shot at the belt, believing his explosive talent could lead to redemption. Critics urge caution, saying he needs to address defensive holes before another title bout. For Ankalaev, the win solidified his reputation as a methodical force. If a rematch happens, it will test whether Pereira can adapt, or if Ankalaev can dominate again. Whatever the outcome, the spotlight on these two underscores the razor-thin margin between triumph and downfall at the highest level of MMA.
What's next, right? When you have a champion like Poirier, who has as many title defenses as he had, I think 3, I believe he earned a title fight again, a rematch. Both would fight better if they had to fight each other again. I think Ankalaev would probably respect the wrestling of Pereira more going into a rematch, so he may change his approach a little bit.
Khamzat Chimaev stormed into the UFC, finishing fights so quickly that some wondered if he'd ever face real adversity. That changed when he battled Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman, the latter of whom he labeled his toughest opponent. Chimaev praised Usman's defensive prowess, admitting it was tough to secure a submission against such an elite wrestler. While his aura of invincibility took a slight hit, Chimaev still looms as a major threat in the welterweight division. The division itself is a swirling vortex of contenders. Leon Edwards stands atop, with Bilal Muhammad and Shavkat Rakhmonov eyeing title shots. Rumors about Islam Makhachev moving up to welterweight add another twist, potentially intersecting training partnerships and complicating matchups. Meanwhile, Chimaev has flirted with the idea of moving to middleweight, where he could challenge the likes of Israel Adesanya. Each scenario carries risk and reward, and a single misstep can derail a promising run. Yet Khamzat Chimaev maintains an air of danger with his relentless style. Whether he stays at 170 or ventures up, his fights are must-watch events, and fans are eager to see how he evolves after overcoming the toughest tests of his career.
I'd love to run it back with Bilal. You know, I feel like it's difficult to say he wins. Like I said, I probably prefer Bilal because he was the last guy to defeat me. You know, and even though I had an off night, I feel like that's one I need to get back. You know, I truly believe I am the better fighter between me and him, and go out there and prove it again. But now I'm focusing on Sean. Focusing on Sean Brady right now, and I gotta go out there in London, get rid of him, and then once I get rid of him, then Tarsha is next to me.
A recent uproar in MMA circles involves claims that the UFC misled viewers during Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. Near the end of the fight, unofficial strike tallies showed Pereira leading, only for the final official stats, and a unanimous decision for Ankalaev to tell a different story. Adding to the fire, commentators mentioned live betting odds and encouraged last-minute wagers while those inaccurate numbers were on screen. Critics argue that inexperienced bettors could have been duped into backing Pereira as the perceived favorite. Supporters of the UFC note that mid-fight stats have always been labeled unofficial. They also point out that collecting accurate data in real time is challenging. Still, the controversy spotlights the ethical complexity of pairing live broadcasts with betting advertisements. Some fans suspect the broadcast was delayed to allow more bets, while others see it as a mistake magnified by social media. Regardless, it has sparked calls for greater transparency and consistency. Should the UFC refine how and when they display numbers during a fight? Fans new to MMA might rely heavily on these graphics, and any inaccuracy can lead to confusion or financial loss. For now, the debate rages on, underscoring the growing pains of MMA's relationship with sports gambling. MMA continues to captivate fans with its unforgettable fights, complex personalities, and endless controversies that reshape the sport on a daily basis. If you enjoyed exploring these stories, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more in-depth coverage of the biggest developments in mixed martial arts.